My name is Lionel Villavicencio. I am the chairman of DACORIN, Denver Area Coalition for the Right of the Immigrant. At the same time, I am representing the Stop the Rape campaign. We are facing new challenges with the new allies to ICE and its deportation practices. The new alliance is part of our court system. The probation officer has a new partnership with immigration here in our city of Denver. The new practices is to arrest the men when they arrive to the probation office in Denver. Once they complete their probation responsibility, the latest report are 9, adding 3 more, 12 immigrant arrested in the probation officer. I resist myself to believe that the Mayor Boughton purpose was to disturb the peace and security of family in his city and community. I am sure he never thought that children were being separated from their parents, leaving those children fatherless and motherless. Who is going to support those children now, Mayor Boughton? Those children have parents that support them as long as they stay here with them to protect and provide them. The Stop the Rape campaign called for the end of ICE raids in Denver and to all the United States. The goal for the forum next Sunday afternoon in the Ibex Concert Hall, 181 White Street, on the campus of Western Connecticut State University, to address the federal crackdown on immigrants and to call Mayor Boughton's attention of his situation and to the training phone call that have been placed to the home of the forum organizer in Denver. Full responsibility lay with the Mayor Boughton to ensure the personal safety for every participant in the forum that Sunday.
The reason that you are here today is because things are getting out of hand in Danbury. I do believe that Danbury has been set as an example for the country that in here we obey the law, we practice the law, and they are concentrating in getting our people. There are many immigrants coming from many different countries. But you can see that the emphasis is in trapping, and I'm saying the word trapping because that's what they're doing, the Latinos. I have not heard of anybody else being hunted like the Latinos, and specifically the Hispanics are. Every day when I come here to this office, every day I find families that members of their families have been taken away. As a matter of fact, at this moment downstairs is somebody that they were also harassed by the police. I don't really think that the community at large, the community that they say, I don't have anything against immigrants, but they have to come legally. They have to come through the front door. That door does not exist. It takes years and years and years to get a visa. As a matter of fact, I was reading that last year, 700 plus visas, they were accepted in this country, a country like ours. A country that has been really very good to immigrants. The immigration system is broken. Something has to happen. But to go is almost like a vendetta. We talk about that we are looking for terrorists. ICE has not found any Latino or Hispanic terrorist. We are creating an America that is not the America that we all know and love. This is becoming a police state. We are coming ourselves. We are terrorizing the people that, if we are honest, we have to admit that they are helping our economy. Out there are groups that they say, because of these immigrants, the wages are falling down, people, they cannot find jobs. Let me tell you a secret. Through the years, there have been Italians, Irish, any specific group that has come, they have really been also ostracized, and people have talked about that. Remember, even in 1960, in Massachusetts, in Boston, in windows, they were saying, they were signs, Irish, Catholics, and Jews need not apply. So it's not that this is something new.
I think lots of people here realize that it was Mark Boughton who wrote to Homeland Security originally and asked for assistance in Danbury, specifically asking them to conduct these raids. And his letter was followed by a letter from Congresswoman Nancy Johnson. And this really all started as a part of re-election efforts to keep her in Congress. It's not something that we ought to be doing, as Maria and Lionel have said. It's a poor use of Homeland Security dollars. Do we want Homeland Security inspecting baggage in airports and cargo containers in ports across this country and our borders? Yes, we do. We don't want them in Danbury picking up immigrants who, for very minor reasons, have violated their immigration status. It's not a good use of that money. So we're asking the mayor to stop the raids. We're asking him not to make it a part of his campaign for re-election this year. We're asking him to stand with the immigrant community and say, no law-abiding citizen in Danbury needs to fear the knock on the door. And all of you know of the recent example in Danbury of Teresa Ferreria, who has lived here for 19 years, a homeowner, a taxpayer, separated from her children. This is absolutely unnecessary, Mark Boughton. We want these raids to stop. We're going to gather on Sunday and invite everyone to come and hear the stories of the effect of the ICE raids on people's lives. And we're going to ask that the government tackle immigration reform, put something together that allows people a path to citizenship, and use our homeland resources to protect this country from terrorists. Do not turn immigration control and enforcement into the new terrorists, the terrorists that we unleash on the immigrant community. It's wrong, and we object.
We are, as Maria Cinto put it, Brazilians are often not included in the picture, which is very unfortunate. We are part of the greater Latino community, and whatever happens to the Hispanic community at large, it also affects our community in a great extent. Unfortunately, it took for something to specifically hit home in the past couple of weeks for us to come together even closer. The case of Teresa Pereira, which was a Danbury resident for 19 years, and that had a business, and that unfortunately she hired a lawyer to adjust her status that was not very good. Made some mistakes in her case, and she woke up one day with a knock on her door. Actually, her son called her to come home because there were ICE officers at her home, and they deported her. After 19 years of her thinking that she was part of this community and that she was all set, paying lawyers' fees, thinking that her situation was getting adjusted, and then all of a sudden, in a matter of hours, her life changed drastically, and thanks to her friends in the community, old employers that she has had, they came to her rescue, got her an appropriate lawyer, and in a very unusual turn of events, they were able to give her a second chance of adjusting her status. Unfortunately, not everyone has the same chance. And what needs to be done as far as the raids that have been going on the past couple of weeks in this town, they have been done in a fashion that is just out of the ordinary. And that is what we're also calling in here today. We understand there are laws in this country that need to be followed, and there are laws that need to be reinforced. But when these laws are being reinforced in a way that is just not the normal fashion, it doesn't follow the protocol of those agencies that have to enforce those laws, that is worrisome for our community. When you have a 16-year-old child calling his mother at home, and he's not allowed to tell him that the real reason he wants her to come home is because ICE police officers are there, and the mother gets lured in her home into this kind of situation. When you go in to check yourself in a probation officer because you want to readjust yourself and re-enter society and do something that's right, and then you get deported, those situations are what worry us. I don't think that Lionel, Maria Cinta, or the Latino and Hispanic Brazilian community in any way are we saying that we don't want the laws of this country to be followed, because we're also here for those reasons. This country works. It has laws. People have rights. That's one of the great things that makes America great. But when those laws, those protocols are not followed and they become inhumane, the way these arrests have been done, it worries everyone. And it should worry everyone, not just the immigrant community. Everyone in this town should be worried about the protocol and the way these arrests are being made, because as human beings, when you're breaking up families and you're not seeing the consequences, it's not good for anybody. So we just hope that people show up to the forum Sunday. We're going to try to have a intelligent dialogue about this issue. It's very emotional. It's very delicate. And we hope to bring to the forum the conscience that we're talking about human beings. We're talking lives. These are not just policies and laws and, passports and numbers. These are real people, real families that either work with you, go to school with your children, and that you interact with every day. And we just hope that we're seen as that as far as a society. Thank you.
Now we're going to have representatives from the Equatorian City Center.
No.
No, solamente vine a acompañar, no estoy preparado para eso.
Now in the last meeting we have a group from the student organization for West Conference. West Conference. Tisha Lee Rivera and Natasha or Chanela from the student organization for West Conference. You want to speak on behalf of the...
My name is Taisha Rivera. I'm a student at Western Connecticut State University, and I'm representing the Latin American Student Organization here at WestCon. We're just here to let everyone know that WestCon is providing the space for a neutral environment. We were aware of this last semester, and we wanted to help. We wanted to, what better place than a university at a neutral site? We are Latinos, and this is why we went forth in providing the space for this forum to occur on Sunday at 4 o'clock. So this is why I'm here, just to let everyone know that we're doing this just to bring awareness to the community, especially for the students. A lot of students are not aware of the issues that are happening here. A lot of freshmen are coming in are not aware. A lot of Latinos in our university are not aware of the issues that are happening right here in Danbury. So what a better place and what a better organization to help out at a neutral site to bring awareness for discussion. WestCon is providing the space for a neutral environment. We were aware of this last semester, and we wanted to help. We wanted to, what better place than a university at a neutral site? We are Latinos, and this is why we went forth in providing the space for this forum to occur on Sunday at 4 o'clock. So this is why I'm here, just to let everyone know that we're doing this just to bring awareness to the community, especially for the students. A lot of students are not aware of the issues that are happening here. A lot of freshmen are coming in are not aware. A lot of Latinos in our university are not aware of the issues that are happening right here in Danbury. So what a better place and what a better organization to help out at a neutral site to bring awareness for discussion.
The mayor admits to having written a letter asking for enforcement in Danbury, but he claims that everything that has happened since that time is not his fault. What I'm suggesting is that if the mayor could write one letter to Homeland Security, he can write a second letter, and he can say, Homeland Security, we do not want any further ICE actions in our community, and I have ordered Police Chief Alan Baker not to cooperate with ICE officials in future raids. If he can write one letter, he can write a second letter.
Can you give me more information? They were reporting it to the probation officers, there were ICE agents. Yes.
they are really experts are doing this. They did it in September with the 11 that they took. So it's just that the concept, the idea that they are going against terrorists, they are looking for terrorists, and they are using every way and means to get information in a very illegal way, just to justify what they are doing and taking people like that. To me, they are the terrorists. I think that, well, I could say a lot of words about them, but anyway, the way it works, when I call, I think I said that before, when I call to report that one person that was in probation and he was supposed to go to a meeting, that he was not able to go, the reason I called was because they know that if you have an appointment and you break this appointment, that is a fault against you. So I didn't want to add more trouble to this poor man. So when I called and I said, such and such, Diego is not going to come, because unfortunately it's been taken by ICE. And the answer, Mr. Cunningham, one of the officers, told me, oh, we know. I said, how do you know? He says, because we call. I said, and why do you do this? Why did you do this? Oh, because we collaborate with ICE. I have never hated so much the word collaborate, because it brings to my memory a lot of things. Look at the collaborators during the Second War in Europe. I mean, we always hear collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. But the misuse of this word, when he says we collaborate, well, I was so distressed, I didn't even have the energy to talk him anything else. I knew that. So we know now, because the way that they are doing it, when this man, the first man was apprehended, his English is kind of poor. He doesn't speak English too well. And he had a friend to translate. And this friend went ahead of him. And before he arrived at the office of probation, he was stopped by two men. They took him to a van and they asked him his name. This is illegal. He was not breaking the law. He was not doing anything to justify them taking him. They took him to the van and they asked him his name. He was lucky that his name was not for deportation. So they said, no, it's not you. Well, this man, they let him go. He was so terrified that he didn't even have the chance to wait for his friend and tell him that they were waiting for him. When this man entered, the real person that was going for counseling, when Diego, I think it's Diego Daniel, I don't remember now, when he entered, two officers, they were waiting for him. They put him the handcuffs, and they took him. And the worst part is that they are not even treated as human beings. They cannot call the family. They take them, they leave them, they put them in a jail, and they remove all the information they have on them. And a couple of days later, they let you call. It's one call. And he called the wife, and she came to the office. She was terrified. What they are doing in Danbury is systematically creating terror among our community.
And these stories that she's talking about, again, these are not exaggerations of a emotional Latino community.
No.
When Teresa was arrested,
yes.
Maria Pinto called me at 11 o'clock at night in my office. She said, who can we call to help this woman? How quickly they transfer these people from one institution to another, it's unheard of.
Yes.
Where you're calling Boston and the person is like in Maine, okay, within a couple of hours.
Yes. And
how are you supposed to get a lawyer up there? How are you supposed to go there and post bail? And so it's just some of the lack of communication from the Immigration Enforcement Department. The way they do business is just terrible. You can't help these people. You can't find, you have to wake up a lawyer in the middle of the night and say, what do I do? Or you got to wait till another day. And then they break them down so much that within 10 days that takes them to be processed into the penitentiary system, you have that inmate already going, you know what, I want the first ticket out. I don't want to be any more days because if you keep fighting to bring me home, I'm going to be incarcerated even further, and this place is awful. How many families have we helped with the inmates, the people that they didn't even want to try to get their status adjusted anymore because of the way they were treated when they were incarcerated?
I was told by one of the men that he was taken by ICE. He says that he was put in jail about 700 people. About these 700 people, there were some criminals that they broke the law. But he said there are about 400 that they are waiting for deportation. And I asked him, how is the situation? He said, it's pretty awful. I was not treated badly in the sense nobody beat me up or anything like that. But many people, like Emanuela was saying, they cannot wait and wait. The incommunication with his family is horrendous. Emotionally, what they are doing to this community is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Today, I stopped at the parada where the day laborers are. And I told them, because even that we keep repeating them, they don't understand. They don't have to give any information to the police or ICE. But even I know that if a policeman is going to stop me, I'm thinking, my gosh, what did they do that they stopped me? We always get a little bit, isn't it true? I mean, it has to be a reason. You can imagine a person that doesn't know, and just seeing the police or ICE, they're in trouble. And I told them today, you do not have to answer. You don't have to give any information. You don't have to give any papers. But then they are stopped. Another thing that we teach them, they forget. And then they get their information, and that happened a few days ago, and that's why I want to talk today about the police. We all want to trust the police. We want to work with the police. As I was saying before, I think that we have a very nice police force. And some officers, they are outstanding. It's always a bad apple among the good apples. And a man is stopped because, according to them, somebody called that it was a suspicious car driving. They stopped. They asked this man his name. He was not supposed to give his name. He didn't have to give his name. But even if he knew, he forgot. So he tells them the name. They look in their computer. And by the way, to look the status of a person, it's not like putting the computer. You have to look for it. You have to put time. The police in this town, that's not their job. There are other things to do. They are supposed to protect us. They are not supposed to go and look for the immigrants. But this man, this policeman, took it upon himself. Oh, this man is, is undocumented and order of deportation. So he took him to the precinct, and they had him there until Monday. His family cannot communicate. They figured out that after so many days, he had to be someplace. They did, I think, call the owner of the car that he was driving. They went to get the car, and they would say, no, you have to wait. Because according to what the chief of police told me, and I hear conflicting information, somebody called that it was a drug dealing. He's driving. And it's in an area that I know for a fact that there are dealers going in there and selling drugs. And they are standing there. They are not driving. And you call the police. And the police, because they don't have the time, they have bigger fish to catch, or they are busy in other areas, they don't go. This man is driving, and this man is stopped. And on top of that, like I say, the family could not see him. They told them that they were going to take him to court. So the family goes in the morning. Monday was closed. Tuesday. And when they go there, they tell them it's not in court. It's not in court. That he is already, ICE has picked him up.
There's a lot of other cities in Connecticut that have a significant immigrant population. Why does Danbury get so much attention?
Danbury gets a lot of attention because of our mayor. I mean, this is a federal issue, and the raids are happening all across the country in numbers of thousands, but our mayor ideologically agrees with the raids. We believe that he's involved with them because we know that he does have federal connections. So it has mostly to do with our mayor.
What are your goals with this particular forum coming up this Sunday?
This forum, along with just being very interesting, I hope people come to be educated, but people are coming from groups in Boston and New York, New York City, upstate New York, different cities around Connecticut as well. And we're hoping to use this as a way to build a network to raise the political price of the raids to the point where they won't even consider doing them again. When we unite and we fight each raid, that a raid cannot happen without pressure, with a march, with something happening, that the political price for anybody who wants to do these raids is so high that it cannot continue. That's what we're really hoping to come out of this, and that's what I'm most excited for.
There's supposed to be a counter demonstration at the forum around 3 o'clock. Are you expecting to have any problems whatsoever with the people on the other side of this issue?
As much as they would like to disrupt this meeting, security will be so tight there that it will be very difficult for them. This place will be a safe place for immigrants to show up and their supporters. And what they want to do is they want people to be afraid to come. These people are harmless. They're not going to do anything. They might try to provoke things, and they might do protests here where they threaten to photograph immigrants and try to make their undocumented status public, things like this. But they're not going to be able to do this here. There's going to be strict security at this event, and I hope that people will come and know that.